Our destination weddings, right or wrong? What did you guys land on?
Yeah, what did you land on?
We landed on wrong, but fine.
Welcome to That's So Mental. I'm Ilana Cohn-Sullivan.
And I'm Cristina Fernandez. And each week we'll dive deep into the labyrinth that is the human brain.
Now, we have no business giving advice on mental health, but we do have a lot of opinions and experiences with full-blown mental breakdowns.
That's So Mental.
We have a great guest today.
Isa Medina. She's a fantastic human. She's a comedian. She's a podcaster, funny content creator. And we're very excited to have her on.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
well, first, should we do our little, how are you doing this week? How are you feeling?
I think I'm okay.
That sounded convincing?
Well, I think it's just kind of trying to see what's next and get my thoughts. I think it's like turning in creatively of going to the hibernation cave and, getting just turning back in. So I think after a lot of like output, which can come with just kind of these strange feelings, you know? It's like during the quiet moments where you're like, what am I doing?
Oh, 100%.
But you have to just go, no, this is part of it. Get that journal. I got my new journal.
Same.
I finally picked a color and I'm just going with it. It's red.
Oh, red.
I did pink for a little bit. I was like, oh, pink is cute. Maybe I'll do all different colors.
I've got a turquoise, which is good because it's a throat chakra.
Ooh.
It's like, I got to get my voice on this page.
I thought I would do different notebooks every time, like a rainbow, you know, sort of seeing how it would align on my bookshelf. But then I said, you know what? I'm going back. I'm going branding, like one outfit every day, the same one. That's the notebook version, which is my red little notebook, and I feel really good.
Good.
So it's time to journal.
Listen, that's the root chakra. So
I know. It's time to journal now, folks.
Digging deep.
So that's where I'm at. How
I
about
love
you?
that. I'm good. I'm still riding that birthday high.
I
and
know,
I'm just
you
like,
should.
You know, but also in that kind of cultivating what is this year going to be for me? What do I want? What am I doing?
Yeah. That might be in the air too. I was just thinking, like, where am I going to be in 5 years?
Oh, too much. I can't.
But we hate it because we know it's something we should
look at.
Maybe.
I don't know. Oh God.
Maybe not. Who knows what's going to happen? Anything can happen.
My instant reaction to that is
barf.
Our children will be so old.
Oh,
well, I can't.
Brother.
I will have a college-aged kid, and I can't even.
No, you won't.
She'll be a senior. She'll be looking at colleges.
Getting ready. Oh, that is the heartbreak of time and the future, and it cannot be stopped.
Speaking of time, I saw Kimberly Akimbo, which was about time. It is a show about time.
Oh, well, I wanted a little nugget, and you would not give it to me. Thank you. That was a wonderful, exciting, titillating, little tease.
I give it 5 stars. Go see it if you can.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we're going to do just our little check-in about the ayahuasca experience that I had.
We want more, honey.
Ilana's ayahuasca journey. So last time I talked about what got me there, and I know some are curious about what the WHERE is, and the WHERE is Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. I'm going to call them out.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
You still said you would do it. You don't regret it.
If they come for me, if I disappear, just
call Cesar Milan.
Yeah, their board is. I mean,
I thought you said they're bored. Like they're bored. Oh no,
so
they're coming.
They're
for
board
me.
of directors.
Oh, got it.
It's a tight, powerful group of mostly men. But okay, so the getting to rhythmia. So there is a lot you have to do in preparation for ayahuasca. Not everyone does the dieta, but it is recommended.
How soon before?
A month.
Whoa.
And I think 2 weeks is like kind of the minimum. So I think I was like still eating sugar up until 2 weeks before.
I'm already nervous. I'm already like, my stomach is like, oh God, preparing for something this intense. Okay.
It's intense. But it was really like.
What are some of the details of this?
Of the diet? Sugar. No sugar, no alcohol, no drugs, no caffeine.
Fuck.
Really cutting like meat. I think, I'm trying to remember, I think I had some like clean chicken, like nothing processed.
Yeah, Whole Foods. And just as,
really whole food. Clean your insides, even though they're going to get even more cleaned.
Oh my
I'm gonna get
God.
scrub
My
brushed.
armpits are sweating.
I know.
I'm going to walk you through the body reactions I'm having right now.
So that's the lead up, and like mentally, you're trying to get to a place where you're ready to kind of like address things that you may not even be aware of. Your deep subconscious.
Do they tell you to like mentally diet? Like, are you journaling? Do they say like, here's how you can prep mentally? Because sometimes I find that people tell you body stuff, and then you go, I'd love to. Didn't Sabrina say that too? Like,
yeah,
you need to work out your mind.
You do need to work out your mind, and I don't think there was that much of that.
Would love a questionnaire.
Yeah. A little postmortem on some things we could do differently.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of prepping. I am excited and ready. And I will say, like, I had been, I was kind of in this dark place in the summer when it got revealed that I could go on this trip. And I will say the other part of it too is I was very like, I can't, this is so much money. I can't do this. And the part that I didn't say last time is that my friend offered to like basically sponsor
generously,
me to go.
like was
very
like,
generous.
Here it is for you.
Yeah. And I took a month of really meditating on that because I was like, I can't accept this gift. It's too big. It's too nice. It's too much. And
which is interesting to me that you're dealing with like already I can't.
I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to.
Like that's on your mind.
Yeah.
That is in your mind.
For sure. And I really sat with it and I really I journaled about it. I meditated and I really spent time being like, what is my holdup? And ultimately my holdup was like, I feel like I don't deserve this. I'm not, even though I had been seeking it out and I was really like desperate at the time for some relief from what I had been experiencing. And I said yes and, booked my ticket and did the diet and was all ready and I was packed and once I said yes, I did have this sense of relief.
Like I'm doing the right thing.
Doing
I'm glad.
something proactive
for myself.
For my mental health, which had been just like in this like cyclone of really, really negative thought that I could not break. And I felt a lift and that felt really good. Like, okay, there's a thing that's coming that I will feel relief from. Mm-hmm. So
little Lana gets on that plane.
I get on a red eye.
Okay.
Yeah, which is already like
questionable.
The other part of this that like I didn't know how much I wanted to really get into was I went in early November of 2023 and October 7th had happened very recently. My family is Israeli. I was really,
needless to say, it was on your mind.
I was struggling. So I went from like, as soon as I booked the trip, which I think was only like a few weeks before that first week of October. So I had like a month of being like, yes, okay, I'm doing a thing. And then I had weeks of being like, oh my God, this is one of the worst, most horrific things that's ever happened in my lifetime to, people I know, people of people I know, and my family who's all there. And I wasn't sleeping for the first 2 weeks of that. So it's almost like I blocked that out. I was like, no, it's feeling good. And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
You weren't getting those 8 hours.
I was not getting 8 hours of sleep. And I was really, the week right before, I really tried to turn it off as much as I could and focus on what was going on. But I was already like in a sleep deprived state.
Yeah.
And I considered recheduling. I did think about it, and I was like, I don't know if now the time is the time to go. Yeah.
Do you think about that?
I do think about that. I do. I really wonder if things would have been different if I had gone.
I think about that so many times in my life, and maybe it's hindsight, but you're like, I did kind of get this like
ping of
message.
Maybe not. But whatever. For some reason, I was meant to go through this experience is how I've kind of had to reframe it. It's like... it happened.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Like it shouldn't have not happened because it did happen. So it must have been what was meant to happen.
Because we're here.
Yeah, we are.
Because we're here.
So I get on a plane. It's a red eye. I get there in the morning. It's this beautiful. You take a van from the airport to the place, which is like an hour and a half or so, and get there, and it's this incredible retreat center.
It's good looking.
Very good looking, very well groomed, very like,
It's nice.
Not what you would think. Like in my head, if I'm thinking of like an indigenous practice of ayahuasca with shamans, I'm sort of picturing a more rugged
Like
experience, which is in my nature more of what I would have
kind of
gravitated
wanted.
towards. But the medical facility.
Center sounds intense. It was
a center. So we get there, and I hoped that I could like check in and go to bed, and the room wasn't going to be ready till 3:00. So I just kind of like hung out and explored the grounds, and again was not sleeping. So that night I slept, but that was the one night that I got to sleep. And then you basically don't sleep for days. And again, I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of the nights and how the actual ayahuasca experience goes. I don't want to lay it all on because it's just so much. It's too much for one to ingest in one.
I mean, and you could look at it from so many lenses.
But there are classes. There are different teachers. There's a speaker, Ian Van Zandt, who she worked with Oprah for a long time, and she had a show that I wish I could remember now.
Did Oprah do ayahuasca?
I don't know. I kind of bet she has.
That's a wild thought. Okay.
I kind of bet she has.
Okay.
Maybe not for 4 straight days.
She got the light version, I bet. That's a lot.
In preparation for next time's ayahuasca experience, I will say that the way this center runs it is there are 4 nights of ayahuasca, and you are highly encouraged to like go to all the classes that are during the day and kind of like how to integrate, what to experience, but also in retrospect.
Is it too much?
Yeah, it feels like it is like
it's like
curating your brain. It felt there were things that felt so corporate.
Like the schedule doesn't seem very ancient.
No. And honestly, the business side of it and that hyper scheduled side
out
is what, when things did turn dark for me, that was the
kind of got you.
That was
very
the thing.
left brain, very left I don't know,
where I was like, you're fucking with an ancient practice. It was like my Mother Earth
rebelled.
Yeah. And I was like, these people are bad.
She was howling.
Yeah.
Whoa.
More than howling. Anyway, we'll get into more of
the howl. The howl of the moon.
Oh, I turned into a full-blown cheetah and ran away. I mean,
oh my God. Can't wait to hear about
It's so fun. There's a lot of fun little moments. But now we're going to talk to Isa.
Yeah. Isa, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Haven't seen you in so long.
I know. It's so nice. It feels like
I'm in New York.
It's a way to catch up with people.
Yeah.
It's why we did it. Just
I used to
reconnect.
have so much space in LA, and now I'm recording in my room.
We'll get to a formal intro, but it is I did not realize, well, you and I did a show together at Laugh Factory, I guess now about 2 years ago. And I just did not realize that you moved to New York. I was just you could have been anywhere, I guess, with your videos, and you were anywhere. You were not in LA.
Yeah, I moved to New York last December, and I feel like a lot of people don't know that. I feel like I announced it on my story and stuff, and then I posted it on Grid or something. But I guess it's just hard because it's people are going back and forth all the time. So nobody knows where anyone lives anymore.
Of course. Yeah, you could have been. Yeah. And who knows how long you would be there.
I think I would visit New York all the time. So then I think people just thought I was visiting for a long period of time.
Yeah. So I know you as a comedian, and I know you're also a podcaster. And are there any other ways that you sort of self-describe? We always talk about how it could be a challenge to identify yourself in a clear-cut way as an artist. But how do you introduce yourself to people?
Yeah, I love the term comedian because I feel like it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm a writer, actor, podcaster, internet video maker, and stand-up comedian. So I think that like I just prefer to work in anything that makes people laugh. Like, I love making people laugh and bringing joy to others and myself. And yeah, so that's kind of what I prefer the most is comedian.
Yeah, I think that one's evolved for me too. But starting to say I do comedy.
Yeah.
I think you said that one
I said
too, right?
I introduced myself as like I work in comedy.
Yeah.
Because writing and everything else.
Right, because stand-up might not fully, you'll try to say one thing and then for a while and you're like, but I'm also doing like X, Y, and Z.
It's also honestly the thing, if you're not talking to people in the entertainment industry and you say you're a stand-up, they're like, tell me a joke. And it's just...
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
You want to just keep it kind of like, we don't have to stay here.
Like I tell everyone I'm a comedian except for when I'm trying to date. Like I'm like,
ooh, what do you just omit that?
I say producer because it's like,
it's kind of general.
Yeah. Like I'm like, oh, like I'm a producer. Like I've even lied low key. I've been like, I used to work at a production company, but I'll just be like, I work at a podcast studio or I say I work in podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I hope that leaves it at that.
Yeah. You kind of move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get to the point where you kind of actually want to move on from it. I think there were years, at least for me, where it's like, I want to talk about this. And then you actually get to a point where you're like, I actually think to protect my work and to protect my own sanity, I actually don't want to stay here very long.
Well, there's so much like thinking about it and plotting and planning and all of the stuff. It's like, yeah, let's talk about other things that are more fun.
Other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and then it's just a lot of people who like aren't like artists, like and I used to be one of these people. They start asking all these questions like, how do you make money? Like all this stuff. And like,
that just makes
I'm
you feel
doing this
so
full time. Yeah. But it's like freelance forever. And all like even the most famous actors, it's like, oh, you work on a project and then you work on another project. And so like,
it's a hard thing to follow if you're not understanding the model.
Yeah.
Right. So Isa, I decided to have you on. I was telling Ilana, I was like, I decided to have you on. Well, in general, you had been on my mind, but then you started posting specific content around mental illness. And you had one specific one where it was like on National Coming Out Day. And you were like, I'm coming out about a lot of different things. And one of them was around mental illness. And this is a mental illness podcast where we sort of have a comedic take on it and a fun take on it, hopefully. And yeah, it just made me think, I was like, she came out like about a lot of stuff. And we're like, that's a fun thing. So can you talk about all the things you came out about?
Yeah. So I've had like a really hard like year and a half, I would say. I like lost a friend last year. I've just gone through like a lot of like personal growth and also just like hardship. And I feel like that was a big part of the reason I moved to New York, because I just wanted to be distracted by like the city around me. And then in the winter, I feel like I was even more down because I lived in LA for 5 years. So I hadn't had like a true winter in so long. And it just came about because I was like trying to do sketches, and I think it's so funny that like I was living alone and I would like wake up and like try and get myself to do something. And then I would use this like crazy voice and be like, I don't really want to do that. Like, or like, I'm just not feeling so good. And like, just to like get myself out of a rut. And so I came up with this bit of like, the most like, deep, like your friend that says the most deeply concerning things in a funny accent. And it was just this like sketch that kind of snowballed into then later on, like in Latino Heritage Month, I came out with this video that was like, oh my God, Bisexual Awareness Week happened to fall on Latino Heritage Month, which also happened to fall on Suicide Awareness Day.
We gotta pack them in. There's too many days.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm Latina, I'm bisexual, and at times I might be suicidal. So I made this sketch that was like, I'm all of these things, haha. And like, it really found its community. Like I I went to the park to make sketches, which like I often like riff them and like improvise them. And sometimes I'll just post them and I'll be like, this is going to bomb. This is not going to get. And I just like, sometimes I'm like, all right, I just need to post something.
Yeah.
I did not think that anyone was going to relate to that. But I feel like the more niche you go online, like the better it does, because it really found its community. It was like Spanish speakers, bisexual. It was like bisexual girlies were like in the comments being like, this is so me. And I was like, cool.
I mean, it's a nice reminder that it's like, oh, you're so not alone, right? Like, it's like,
yes,
the more you like whittle it down,
yourself,
it's like, yeah,
too.
and everybody's like, okay, now I can relate to this now that you're so authentically coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I was like so authentically myself, and then like so many people related to that, which was awesome. Yeah.
That's so cool about art making when you're just like, I don't know who's gonna. There is just that voice when you're making stuff that's like, I don't know, this is just in my brain. And then
when I started making sketches, I was like, my one rule is like, if I think it's funny, I will post it.
That's a great rule.
So like, I posted a clip the other day that's like, it's doing okay. It hasn't gone viral by any means, but like, I thought it was so funny that when I shot it with my friend, we like almost peed our pants laughing. And I was like, I don't care if nobody relates to this. This is the funniest thing I've ever made. And I was like, I'm posting it.
Well, if you're like true to yourself, you're not gonna, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, whether this does well or bombs, I'm still gonna be like, okay,
I'm happy that this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're not gonna look back with it in shame. If you kind of like force something, then you go, oh, that was like to play to the audience. I don't know.
Exactly. And like, that's the worst. It's like, I've played to the audience before and it does well. And then I'm still like content because I'm like, oh, okay, I did my job. Like I played to the audience. But the worst is when you play to the audience and it doesn't do well. And then you feel like a hack because you're like, oh, I
who
did
are you serving
the
it? Because then it's like, who's left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, some of the things I did in my past, I'm like I feel like the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of content making past, because I was like a YouTuber for back in the day, and some of the things I did that I thought were the funniest things like never got traction, but they still live there. I mean, it was so dumb, but I have a very
if you had fun while making it,
dumb sense of humor.
You gotta have fun.
Totally.
How did you get into comedy? Like, where was your entrance?
Yeah, so I did start in LA. Unfortunately, I always say, and I'm sorry for that. But I started in LA because I moved there to work at a nonprofit, and I just didn't really know that many people, and I was really into comedy as an audience member, and so I started going to like a lot of comedy shows, and then it's kind of like like gateway drug where you start going to open mics and you just watch at the mics, and then you're like, wait, I can do this, and then I started doing mics, and then I immediately noticed very quickly that like a lot of like it was going to be very hard to get stage time. So I started producing my own shows, and then that's kind of how I like got into comedy. And then during the pandemic, I started a podcast that I co-hosted and co-created, and now I'm a former co-host, and that really allowed me to like go full-time on comedy. But I had a full-time job up until 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was doing comedy for like 2 years while I had that full-time job. And I think the LA comedy scene was like great before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, it kind of like, I feel like, I mean, I moved a year ago now, so like, I don't know if it's found its life again, but I feel like it was so hard to find stage time.
And I mean, it might be general. I mean, even prior, people were saying, like, it's not like New York. You can't hit up that many mics in one night in the same way you probably could in a city where you're walking or taking a train. It's like driving is a thing.
Yeah. I've considered, I'm going to be there next weekend. And I was like, should I go see if I can
hit up a mic?
Do a show while I'm there?
Yeah, you totally should.
Yeah.
There's
Let
like
me know.
Saturday
I can
send you I can send you an Excel sheet with like 100,000 shows on it.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
Anywhere you want, baby.
I'll hit somewhere up just by myself. That's fun.
Yeah.
How is New York?
Yeah.
are you happy you did the move now that you're past a winter and you're like, do you feel like you're finding your footing?
Totally. Even in the winter, I feel like I talk about this with my therapist a lot, but like I was fine. The thing with New York is that I feel like when I'm going through a bad mental health period, there's so many short-term solutions to snapping out of it. Like I feel like in LA, what I really struggled with was like the isolation of it all. Is like working from home and being alone. And like if I wanted to see friends or if I wanted to see other people, I would have to make plans or get in my car and drive somewhere. Whereas like in New York, if I'm having like a bad day, I like force myself out of the apartment and I just go for a walk.
Yeah. Wait, so, and you said you're talking to your therapist, and now I'm curious to know, we know you have a therapist, and have you ever gotten formally diagnosed with something, or have you self-diagnosed?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a psychiatrist as well, and I've been on meds in the past, but I have like generalized anxiety for sure. I think that I just use different methods to deal with it. Like I run a lot, I exercise, I go to yoga, and like I try to get like a good amount of sleep. But I think like when my life is at really peak anxiety, I do have to try medication. And I recently started meds like maybe now a month and a half ago. I started them again. I've never had a great experience with meds, but
what are you on now? What are you experimenting with?
I'm on Prozac for anxiety, but I know it also helps with depression. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's going to help with that. I don't identify as like a depressed person. I feel like I definitely was probably like depressed in the last year, but
like you get it.
I think that like I think like depression and anxiety are kind of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And I like to say that I'm more on the like anxiety side, but I definitely had like symptoms of depression of like, lack of motivation, like struggling, like catharsis, I think is one, I don't know, like bad sleep, like all this stuff. But I think that I just hit kind of a wall in August in New York where I'd been so go. I'd been finding so many short-term solutions to like stay floating and to like tread water with my mental health for the last year that I hit this wall that I was like,
it's time for something longer term.
Yeah. Like the short-term solutions were like no longer working. And I think right now I'm feeling like a lot better. Like I do think meds help. I don't plan on being on them forever, but I think like if you're at the place with your mental health where like you can't even like tread water, it's like the meds are there to help you like get out of the deep end kind of
not
and like
totally drown for a little while.
Get some space. And then once I feel like more rejuvenated and like better, then maybe I won't need the meds anymore.
Yeah.
That's
an interesting take because I always play with that because I'm on Wellbutrin for depression. I feel like I identify more with the depression side, although for sure I've had anxiety. But I am always like, is it time? Have you built in now enough good habits, because the medication allowed you that space, right, to not feel like you're drowning. And then you were able to now actually build some other stuff like exercise and maybe less drinking and just, better systems in place. And now can you take this other thing down? That's like a personal desire. I mean, it's like no shade. Some people,
no shade. I don't know, I mean, I have friends who've been on like Wellbutrin specifically for 15 years.
And some people like for sure, but I'm like, oh, mine's like, I think it's pretty mild. Have I put in, I'm curious. I'm curious what it would be like to experiment with that, like to take something down and then see if I plugged in enough other stuff. But sometimes
I have done that in the
first thing you want to do. But the medication is the thing that's actually getting you there. I don't know. Who knows?
I mean,
scientists.
I really would love to have a chemist on here and talk about like the actual chemical release of like, because and this is like a completely uneducated take on it, aside from me working in pharmacies as a pharmaceutical technician, teenager who stole drugs. I have
Don't hire 15-year-olds,
real
guys.
experience. But my take was always like, well, if you're supplementing with chemicals, like your brain is going to get addicted to that, isn't it? And then how do you get off? Because then your brain is like lacking that.
Like, would you tell me to smoke cigarettes forever if I'm trying to get over? I don't know.
Totally.
Right. And I get concerned about that, even though I am currently still on Wellbutrin.
And it helps.
And
it's like it is helping. But they do say as soon as the medication works, a lot of people I think it probably gets split. Like some people are like, cool, I'm on this forever. But there's another camp. I'm definitely in this camp of like, okay, now I feel good. It's time to get off the medication. But people are like, no, that's the medication working actually.
Yeah. I was just saying this to a friend the other day, and that like, I was like feeling like, I feel like when I first started the meds, I was feeling so bad that of course I remembered to take them every single day at the same exact time because I was like, I need this to work.
Yeah.
And then I kind of hit like an inflection point in the last like weekend where I was like feeling better. And I forgot to take the meds.
You're kind of almost like weaning yourself off subconsciously or something, I think.
Yeah. And I have done that before. Like the one time I tried meds that I felt like maybe it worked was in college. Like I went to go study abroad, and I was having like a really bad like semester in college, and I got on meds right before I went to go study abroad, and I was on them for like 2 months, and I immediately felt better, but then I just never refilled them. And I kind of used that momentum of feeling better to like exercise and kind of like what you are saying. And like, I started traveling on weekends, and I was so fully distracted that like, it was like the perfect transition out of this like bad period.
Also, I feel like when you're traveling and you're in a new place and you're having this like experience, it also is probably so much easier to not be depressed because you're not in your normal. So where were you?
I feel like it could go either way.
I was in Switzerland. So like I was literally running in like the freaking Alps. Like,
I mean, you are like, come on, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm high off life. So I was like, this is sick.
I feel like you don't hear enough about like using, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm like, oh yeah, using medication temporarily is like, oh, you know, because sometimes it does feel like people are giving you like, this is it. I'm like, am I really going to be like 80 years old taking Wellbutrin and taking out my contact lenses? Like that's what I'm trying. Like right now I'm thinking about eye stuff, and I'm like, really, you're going to be a grandma and doing all that every day? That's going to be annoying.
And I don't
like
think
your
you
little
have
hands,
to, like,
your shaky little hands. It's going to be annoying. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thinking about the future.
I think that like, that's why like it's so important to have like, I think like last time that I tried, so I did like college, and then I tried meds like 2 years ago after a breakup, and like they made me feel depressed. And so I got off them, and I tried Lexapro. So I was like, this is not for me. Cause I was just anxious. I was like, I need something for anxiety. And I wasn't talking to a psychiatrist. I just went to my like general practitioner, and they gave me
you can just get those now from anyone.
Yeah.
I think.
And now I'm talking to a psychiatrist like every 3 weeks just to like check in, and like I'm hoping that it helps, because I'm like, once I start feeling better, I really am going to like wane off of them. That's like my plan.
Yeah. I mean, I really do want to. And it is hard because I'm like, I'm in an upswing. But yeah, it is that balance of like, how do you...
That's why talking to a professional is super helpful, I think.
Not just listening to a podcast of comics.
Well, no, I got on Wellbutrin, and like Isa, like I've been saying, like I actually kind of can't remember how I got them because I've never been to a psychiatrist. So it's like, I think it's that easy to just kind of say, I think I need something, and your general doctor to write you a prescription. And if it kind of works, then, which it did for me. So I think I didn't need to go any further. But sometimes I go, I think there should be someone else in the room.
Yeah. How long have you been on them?
Since it was like early pandemic, because pandemic kind of pushed me to finally, so I'd always had like mild depression and it was manageable, but I think I'd been toying with it enough that when the pandemic hit, I go, it's about to get wild in here and in here in your mind. And maybe this could be the good time to actually get on something.
Give them a real college try.
Yeah. And like give it a whirl. And I did, and it did work out. And I think that paradoxically, it's like why I didn't have to go to a psychiatrist, but I'm like, it does feel weird to just be self-regulating medication.
Yeah. But that being said, it's like my psychiatrist. Yeah. But that being said, like sometimes I'll meet with my psychiatrist and it's like a 20-minute conversation of her being like, so do you have headaches? Like, and I'm like, how much are you really finding out about me? But like,
maybe once a year.
Yeah, totally. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I do think that like checking in with yourself, also like kind of like you said, like your depression wasn't that bad to get on meds. Like what I've realized is that like, I know I have generalized anxiety. It comes and goes in waves in my life. And there are times where I can deal with it without meds. And this time I was like at my wit's end and I was like, I can't deal with it. And what I'm the reason I'm okay with waning off of it in the future is because I know I will build up that strength again to like deal with those ups and downs again. And like, also like, I'm sorry, this might sound crazy, but like, I love the ups and downs. Like, I like,
oh my God, I love this take. I appreciate this take.
Yeah. When I'm not on meds, like I have a friend in New York that we became, like I met her in LA. She's a New York comic, but we became closer over this last year. And every time we would go to an open mic and then we would like get a drink after, and we wouldn't get drunk or anything, but we just hang out. We're like, this is an up. Like, that's what we call it. We're like, we're having an up. Like, we're having an amazing day. It was like the first day of spring. Like, we were like, it's beautiful out. And then our friend who's on antidepressants was like, damn, I haven't had an up in so long, but I also don't have downs anymore. And so I think that's what meds do, is like they neutralize you. So you're not having those amazing ups, but you're also not having those crazy downs.
See, I think mine still makes me feel like I'm on. That's what I actually liked about my medication, is that because I took one before and it was a little more of that. And that's why I think some people resisted. Like, my gifts are also these like wild spirits, right? This is like how I make my stuff. I don't want to just become this like bot, but the medication I'm on now, I still feel like I feel like myself.
Yeah,
that's
huge.
Great.
I agree with my Wellbutrin as well.
Like yourself?
In a way where I tried Prozac and that numbed me.
Yes.
In a way that I was like, I don't like this. I don't feel anything.
Like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I felt about Lexapro. Yeah. Is like the numbing.
I mean, it's interesting, like the chemistry behind
the
it.
Right combo.
Yeah. I just did a quick Google search because I was curious, and it said in March 2020, the dispensing rate increased by 130%.
Wow.
For antidepressants.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think a lot of people are like, this is the time.
Yeah. It was actually 130% for females and 60% for or female adolescents. Oh my gosh, female adolescents. So it's just sad. 60% for young adult females between 18 and 25. Who knows what it was for the old ladies like us?
They don't do research on.
No, they don't care. 30-year-old women, that's where it ends.
Isa, you have a new podcast. Or how long has the podcast been around? The last year?
No, I just launched it in June.
Well, look at that.
It's very funny.
I know.
I like your hook. You want to tell? Can you talk about it for a second? Yeah. Take a sip of water.
It's called I'm Right, You're Wrong, which love.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, so it's essentially kind of like a comedy debate podcast, but we don't always have like a formal debate.
Yeah.
But we talk about a specific topic. Like I was just editing today, next week's episode, destination weddings. And we just were like, are destination weddings right or wrong? You know, like who are you hurting? Who are you helping? And the whole point of the podcast is to like look at both sides of a hot take, because I feel like so many times online we have these hot takes, but we don't actually look at both sides because we're all biased.
Mm-hmm. And then short form, like you have like more time to actually like really let's give it the time, right?
Exactly. Like, let's give it the time to look at both sides, whether we agree with it or not, and then come to a conclusion at the end. Obviously, like a cheeky conclusion, but because everything is nuanced, but like decide, you know, like, is this right or wrong? And that's kind of what the podcast is. But it's very like tongue in cheek, like lighthearted. Like, I was trying to make it a little bit more researched before, but now I'm realizing it's like the strength I bring to the table is comedy. And so like, it's very like sarcastic and like,
are destination weddings right or wrong? What did you guys land on?
Yeah, what did you land on?
We landed on wrong, but fine.
the spin-off podcast.
Yeah.
Wrong, but fine.
Yeah.
It's not
wrong, but fine. Like with my other podcast, we used to do this thing where like we would what's it called? Rank cults, like whether they were like a live your life, a watch your back, or get the fuck out level cult. And so we did like we would do like get the fuck out rising and like watch your back moon. And so like with this episode on destination weddings, we did like it's like wrong sun, but fine moon.
Right, like nobody's gonna die. Moon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But their wallets are gonna suffer.
And maybe local culture.
Exactly. And we also came to the conclusion of like, apparently there are some people who have destination weddings because they actually want to limit the amount of guests that actually go to the wedding. And we were like, so they had the ulterior motives.
It's a gambling. It's a Vegas strategy. Like I'm betting that people won't come, and it's what if they do come?
Exactly. And that's wrong. And we landed on that being wrong because that's weird to have an ulterior motive and run your wedding like a business.
Ooh, love that take.
Also, it's just like what is the word? Economically, you're, you know what I'm trying to say.
At risk.
Oh God, my brain just shut off.
Explain it in other ways. Don't worry about the word.
I'm trying to say manipulative, but you're inviting your rich friends to come and your poor friends go fuck off.
Right, it's like a disparity of like you're basically
like
saying
discriminating almost.
You can afford if you can afford it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You have to kind of make a list around
that's
who
why
could come.
We were joking on the episode, but that was like, that's why if I ever get invited to a destination, I always go.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, oh, you thought I wasn't going to go to Hawaii.
Well, that's what I think. It's like, because
there.
sometimes people still invite. Okay, so it's one thing if then you make the list small to begin with, but I do feel like I know people who invite a lot of people betting that those folks will not come. And that seems like a very bad strategy.
I know.
Because of course, you're like, well, I'm coming.
I know another level of this. Now we're just in your podcast.
Now we're talking weddings. Now we're talking weddings.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a totally new podcast.
But the other version is that you do an A list, see who can't come.
Of course.
And then you do the B list.
The JV squad.
JV.
You fill seat fillers at the Oscars.
Yeah, and then you're just at seat fillers. Yeah.
Because you want people there.
That's a great strategy. I feel like I'm now realizing I might be like B-list on a lot of weddings because I always get invited like 3 months before.
It might not be bad. Because it's like you want to, well, there's people you do want to invite, but maybe can't because you do have limited resources.
Because you got to invite your like Aunt
stuff.
Glenda. Yeah.
Isa, how do you, I guess when you were talking about the generalized anxiety, how do you incorporate that? I guess like, because you said, well, you love I like that you're like, I love the swings, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a lot of truth to that because that's who you are and that's like your essence and that's your gift. It could also be a little bit of your downfall, but I don't know, just like curious about like how you integrate, how you work through that. Like, do you make the anxiety work for you? And then you're like, that's actually when I write a freaking full movie script. Or is that when you're actually taken down and you're like, actually, when I have anxiety, I really can't create. Like some people I feel like can create when they're anxious. Some people are broken
great
down
question.
by it.
Yeah. I feel like
Ilana.
normally it does drive me a bit. Like I think like it's kind of like a little bit of a fire under my ass of like, oh, okay, like I wake up and I have things to do and that gives me a little bit of anxiety. But like if I get them done, then I feel happy and content. But the reason I got on meds was because the anxiety was getting out of control and it was completely like paralyzing me.
You could not.
I couldn't do
bang out
anything.
Scripts. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I couldn't, like I would get out of bed and just panic and like
shut down, like
feel totally just like, it was this thing where like everything was bouncing around my head and like I couldn't focus for long enough that I could sit down and actually get anything done.
Yeah.
And so that's when I was like, okay, I need to get on meds. And obviously like I made a video about this too, but when you first get on meds, your symptoms worsen for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, you kind of feel a little off.
Which I think is so funny. I'm like, oh, you're going to give meds to someone who's on suicide watch?
Might be. Yeah.
And they're going to like feel worse.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. And the first week I was on Wellbutrin,
were you feeling it? Were you feeling some stuff?
I had like these crying jags where I felt completely unhinged, insane. I mean, really just like, and sort of about nothing, right? So you're like, what is happening? The other bizarre side effect from Wellbutrin is I felt like my vagina was going to explode.
Whoa,
I don't really. Yeah. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
What?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Is that a real side effect when you look it up?
Well,
they're like,
I don't know, but
weird.
I've heard other people are like, oh yeah, Wellbutrin makes you really horny, but it was like beyond that.
Well, look at that.
It was like a little bit.
That's cool though.
That's
like,
cool because some of them take
Wellbutrin?
away your, because a lot of them do take away your like libido, but you don't, and that's, I think a lot of people like Wellbutrin because you don't have the weight gain, you don't have the libido, because it's like, if you are depressed, you're like, oh cool, now I'm going to lose my sex drive, gain weight. This is not a good time for these feelings. Like, how am I going to be?
Yeah. But what was so when you started, how bad, like you said 2 weeks, was it like a deep dive into your
Oh
depression.
yeah, I was like throwing up every morning. Like I would wake up with like a pit in my stomach and I was throwing up. I think I lost 10 pounds.
Oh
like,
my God.
It was bad.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And someone's walking you through it though? Your psychiatrist is like, you got to ride this out? Or someone?
I was like texting her and I was like, I don't feel good. And she was like asking me questions. She didn't text me back on the weekends, which I was like,
Which you're
what
like,
if I kill myself?
what if I,
Yeah.
I'm like, hello.
We've talked about this on
another
another episode, which is like, it's so crazy when mental health professionals do not call you back. It just feels like, what?
Yeah, it's like, I know they have lives, but I was like, girly, this
Just
is not the time to ghost me.
A quick text to do me good.
Yeah, but I was also, my sister is getting her like PhD in psychology, I think.
Oh, that's convenient.
Something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and then her fiance's sister's husband is a psychiatrist. And so she was like, oh, you can talk to him if you want. Or like, I was just talking to people in my life,
Yeah.
like, and
Support.
and like,
yeah.
Yeah, I have a really good support system. So I felt like fine in that. Like all my friends were like checking in on me because they knew that like I was going through it. And
you're being
I think, like,
vocal. You're being like vocal about it too, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm like very vocal about how I feel. And like, because I always feel good. So it's like, when I do feel bad, it's like I'm very loud about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
good.
I don't like this. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a hidden. I think if things are not, you know what I mean? Like, how are you?
I hate to say this, but I almost think it's generational. You know,
I don't think you're wrong.
we are quite a bit older
And
and
a different generation.
yeah, we're of a just
Isa.
where you weren't supposed to really talk about that shit. And like
Totally.
its detriment, right? Like our ladies our age and
Secret keeping,
men,
yeah,
it's a
like
little bit more like you
strong,
don't
like hold it.
you
like,
don't
hold
talk
that.
about your struggle. You just
Totally.
you just cry behind the closed door.
Or in the car. I found the car is a fantastic place.
yeah.
Nobody's looking at you. You
Such
can
a good
wail.
place to cry.
You can wail.
Yeah.
You put those sunglasses on. You can wail. Everybody's got blinders on. Nobody's looking at you. It's fantastic.
Nobody cares. Yeah. And
Nobody
since
cares.
I moved to New York, I have cried on the train many a time.
Really?
And I'm like,
And do people that
New
seems
York
very
doesn't give up.
exposed.
it's so exposed. But the thing about New York is that like everyone is so focused on themselves. And I've seen other people cry. You don't bother them. It's like your private time.
It's still your private
Yeah.
time. I know that nobody would care, but I would feel nonetheless.
That's because we are of a different generation.
I'm an old lady.
I respect and I feel like we can learn so much from you.
Isa, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 29.
Oh my God.
bleep it.
I said
You said-
30. I
yeah.
called it. I was like, she's young. And I was like, I've said she's young a lot of times. You once told me something funny that I just remembered, which is that I said something about, I think we had a little croissant. Remember when we had a croissant at Proof?
Oh, yeah.
That was so sweet. And we were
Oh, I
chatting.
miss that bakery so much.
Oh, it's a good one. But we were chatting and I said something about podcasts around the news and like legal stuff that you forget. And you were like, I feel like moms are always like reading the news. And it has stayed with me in this way that I really didn't identify as like someone who's like always up on the news. But I was like, that's what it seems like to her.
Yeah.
Moms are
Moms are at the
always-
news.
That's so funny because now that I'm like back on the East Coast, I feel like that was just like a unique perspective of like you reading the news. But what I realized is like no one in LA
It's
reads
a
the
West
news.
Coast thing.
Yeah.
To
It's the
not read
West
the news.
Coast.
Because
Yeah.
East Coast is very like, we're up on current events.
Yeah, they're like New York Times, like we read it, whatever, you know. Also, I
West
was going to
Coast-
ask, like,
yeah, that's
I
funny.
can't imagine like this. A big reason I don't know if I want to have kids or not is because my mental health and like I don't know like how you handle dealing with all of this. And then you have like I saw this TikTok once that was like, imagine having the worst day of your life and then a little voice in the corner is like, Mommy, I'm hungry. I was like, I can't do that.
Well, you could entertain the other side if you entertain that. You could entertain that it might pull you out of it because your
And
focus
that's
won't be
the
on
part
you.
that I have
they
started
both,
to
I
think
are-
about a lot lately.
Both are very valid, and they believe me that first one happens. But I actually always think about this with people who don't have children but might be like entertaining it. That they, especially with performers, right? I knew a lot of actors at that time when we were all having kids, and some of them were like, "I'm not where I want to be. I'm not here. I want to do a little bit more of this because what if my career goes down? What if my work goes away?" I was like, I feel like even just in the like balancey way of like energies, like if you're going to entertain that, which is totally fair, it felt like people never entertain the other side, like the
other
lightness
side.
of it. Like, have you ever thought it could make you a deeper artist, more focused? Like for me, it really focused me in a way that I think I needed. Like, cut the fat, cut the bullshit. Like, if you're gonna go do something, it better be tight. You better be ready. You have only an hour. Make it count, and and when you go, I'm actually so much more excited in a way where like all the time in the world can be a trap. Like no boundary.
Yeah, it's a little bit like even with creative projects. Like when you have the boundary, it is a nice framework. But it is there is definitely a reality to that. I mean, a couple of things. I'd say like it makes you address it faster, right? Because you're like, oh, things are swirling. I have to be here. I am responsible for other lives. I can't like dwell in this pit, you know, where like maybe before I had kids, I would be like, spend a few weeks just kind of like
languish in it. You could just sit in that, baby.
Sit in that dark little mud.
Especially if you like the dark, which depressives like the dark.
I know. I do too. But you can't really do that. The other thing is that it brings up all of the stuff, and especially for me anyway, like immediately postpartum, like things come up. And like the beautiful part of it is you get to
stuff comes
it's hard. But you get to heal things in a depth that you might not have been able to without experiencing kids.
Because that's like crazy rite of passage that we don't have that many of in this culture.
Yeah, and also just like a perspective shift, right? Because suddenly you're like, oh, I'm the parent. And I am just a fucked up person.
That I'm like not ready for. I'm like, I'm just a baby. I'm like, I don't want to be.
But guess what? These ladies were at the K-Spa yesterday talking about adults, and we're like, you guys, I was like, what adult? They're talking about like, they're like, you know, the 80-year-olds. Like, it's like, we're the adults. But you never feel that. Like that feeling doesn't, I think this is everybody's like human nature to think that one day I will feel different than myself. And essentially like one day I'm going to feel like the adult. It's like, no, I still feel like little girl, like Cristina messing around.
I hope someday I feel like that wise old woman who just like has all the answers.
I mean, a little bit, but I think we still just feel like our little kid selves.
Little kid. Yeah.
But that perspective shift is so important because it's like I was walking back from a coffee shop today at the time that like the elementary school near me got out, and like all the kids were like running out, and like they were so cute. And
it's a sweet time in New York. I love that sound in New York. You hear it a lot in New York.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, these kids are freaking adorable. And like it like made my day. And I was just like, okay, I get it a little bit. I get a little bit what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm like, I want one.
Your heart. I mean, I always think like your heart, you know, your spectrum grows. So the stuff that's deep and heavy, it gets in, you know, life is intense. Like you're vibrating a lot more with children. And then, and your heart, your love, like everything just kind of makes more of itself. And so it's super challenging, but you do feel like this is what it's like to be alive. And, you know, it comes in different versions. You know, it's not just kids, these other moments of life where you feel like, oh, I'm like living the full colors of the spectrum. Like I find sometimes people are so muted by Xing stuff out, which also I'm like, honey, Xing out kids is not going to get rid of loss, pain, failure, and like anxiety. It's just not going to fix it because that's coming for us all. Yeah. And so I think there's a little bit of like sometimes thinking you like made the life equation work out, and it's like, it's coming. Like it just, there's all the different versions of this, even if you don't, I don't know.
Totally. I feel like I feel like the reason it scares me to have kids isn't because I don't want to, I feel like it's the opposite. It's because I know I feel so much.
I'm like, okay,
same.
And so, and I know that I will feel more with kids, and I'm like, I'm going to implode. Like I would just be like, well, like too much love, like can't do
it feels impossible before you're there, and somehow your container grows. Like you're able to handle so much more than you thought was humanly possible. There is some sort of like energetic expansion that happens that allows so that you can't explode, right? Because otherwise people would just be like
imploding and exploding everywhere,
bursting all over the place.
Matter can neither be created nor destroyed.
There it is.
Yeah, I for sure. It's the waiting outside the principal's office. I always call it the thing where it's like being in trouble and like waiting outside or about to jump out of the plane is always so, or like before you go on stage, it's always so much scary. What your mind can create for you is always so much more terrifying than the thing itself. Like whatever it is, whatever creative endeavor, it's like once you're in it, you're like, all right, I'm in it. You know, even if it was like the worst thing or like you bought, it's like, oh, it wasn't like my mind could just play these tricks on me like before it that were. But then you get there and you go, we got to do it.
Yep.
I got to do it.
Totally. I sometimes when I get like really, really, really anxious before a show, if it's like really important, like I opened for like Marcelo Hernandez in Spanish, and I've opened for him twice now, but the first time I opened for him, it was also like this, it happened to be like the anniversary of like my friend's passing last year. And so like I went straight from, yeah, it was like a really weird day. He asked me like 2 hours before the show, like, hey, are you around? Can you do this? And I was at my friend's, like at a dinner with friends, just like, I guess we were having like a little like thing, you know, to remember him. And, so I was just already really anxious. And then I get to the show and then I was like nervous and like, I just like threw up. I was like, so I'm like, But then after the show, I felt like so fine and amazing. And I just think it's like my fear, I feel like with kids is I'll just be like,
just a lot of throwing up for you in the beginning. You might be like a thrower upper. Yeah. Do you throw up easily or is it your anxiety? Do you throw up easily?
I think it's my anxiety. Like, you know how like people have panic attacks when they have anxiety?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like
that's your version.
My body doesn't have panic attacks. It literally like throws up.
I mean, it is, but I think it's better. It's very ayahuasca. You go there and you just barf your brains out. That's
Ilana's been like revealing her like ayahuasca journey, and it just made me think you get like the natural.
Yeah, you got a natural just cleansing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's why I knew I had to get on meds, because I was like, even when like I was like then having like, oh, did my headphones connect?
No, you're fine. You're good.
We hear you.
I think.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
They like, it's also not even like I throw up. I'm like dry heaving. And then like part of me is like, I almost wish I could have like a panic attack so that I could just like get to the other side of it. But my body is like fighting it.
Fighting
it's
something.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, we are getting to the time where
I like where this went, Isa. I was like not expecting to go to all these places. This is so fun.
I'm an open book. I love podcasting.
I love
Sometimes I'm like, I need to stop talking.
Never.
No, you're in the right career.
Yes. But we like to kind of close out with some endorsements. This can be anything that is driving you this week or making you feel good or something positive in your life. And
it's like, getting you creatively through the days.
Okay. So I was living like alone for a long time, and I feel like right now I just got a roommate and I'm really liking that. And I feel like everyone in their like late 20s is like, oh yeah, it's time to live alone and I want to live alone and like living alone is amazing. And I'm like, low key having a roommate is cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so I'm endorsing that, I would say.
Roommates, people. Community.
Yeah. I love that.
Community.
We've been isolated too long. It might be just the right time to get roommates and like live with people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, if I ever don't have a roommate, I'll just have a kid and then I'll have a roommate forever.
Roommate, tell us when you have a baby roommate.
Tiny roommates are the best. Except when they break all of your stuff, then it gets hard.
He likes breaking stuff, huh? Okay, my current thing is the realization that, the realization to have these routines that are helpful, even if they're challenging for me to kind of, I think it's that depressive, like little nugget, which is like washing your face at night. You know, these simple tasks that actually are so, for some reason, flossing your teeth, like so hard. And then you do them and like kind of just like getting over that like huge like mountain you've like built for yourself and just like going like, just do it. And like, because, you know, it is the self-care thing of like building in these like things for later on, for when things get hard, when you're not feeling okay, like just being kind to yourself in like a steady way. So my skin regimen is like really on my mind now. I'm like, wash your face, put on your medicine, get your moisturizer on. So I'm really focusing on
It's so
that
important.
Right now.
And it's such a, you know, it's like a real part of like
growing up.
growing up. But I was going to say, like, a true yogic practice is cleaning your space, cleaning your body. It's like as important as like the doing of the yoga and the breath work and all of the stuff. It's like a true.
I just never did it when I was younger, and maybe I was like, who cares? You know, I got a little mascara. I'll do it in the morning. I'll put it off. And there was something kind of bigger about that. Like, I won't deal with this right now. It feels like very symbolic. Like, deal with this now. Anyway.
I love that.
What about you, Ilana?
Let's see. This week, I have gotten back into loose leaf tea.
Oh my gosh.
I worked for a little time. I worked as like a salesperson at a very high-end tea shop in Beverly Hills, which was a trip because you see
a lot of mentally ill people.
Well, you see a lot of ladies coming in with the same plastic surgeon is what you see.
And on the same maybe the same medication.
100%. Highly medicated, very
it's a scene. It's
interesting. But the place was great, and I learned a lot about like tea and where it comes from and what and it was like a good weird education. I feel like a lot of jobs like that where you just like learn an entire industry,
totally new thing.
But yeah, my brother and sister-in-law got me like a little tea kit with like a little infuser.
I get intimidated by tea, but okay.
And it's great.
That's cute.
It makes me feel good. I've like recently kind of stopped drinking coffee because it produces a lot of anxiety.
You have too, Isa?
I've been drinking decaf because I like coffee, but I'm on my decaf game.
Okay. Yeah, I go in and out of coffee and decaf and tea and I kind of float, but this, because it's like ritualistic, makes
it's a beautiful ceremony. Yeah.
It makes it replaces the way coffee feels ritualistic versus just like throw a tea bag in and just, I don't know.
Yeah, gives you a little space, a little time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Totally. Yeah, I feel like it's all these things that like have to do with habits that like make you feel good. Like washing your face, having tea. I just recently, it sounds like I've never showered in my life, but I just started showering in the mornings instead of at nights. To wake up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that helps a ton.
I think that's the ultimate question, actually, to shower in the morning or to shower at night. Because
some people say both.
They both have value.
Why
but
not
I think,
both?
I think that's overwashing personally, but I do understand why you would get clean before getting into bed. That's a good sell. And in the morning to wake up, that's another good deal. Like that all sounds...
I know.
They both sound
That's
good.
why I do kind of like a 5 minute in the morning, 5 minute at night.
Okay.
So it's like two
Just a
quick
little
showers
light,
that
too
add
light.
up to one.
Yeah.
I love this
I
strategy.
like that. I like that strategy too.
Isa, thank you so much. It was so great to
Thanks so
hear from
much
you.
for having me.
It was great to meet you, and I'm going
was
to
so
keep
nice to meet
enjoying
you.
your podcast.
I know. Can't wait to
Thank
keep
you.
listening.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All the
Yeah,
best.
no, thanks for having me. This was so much fun. And if anyone's listening to this and you want to listen to my podcast, it's called I'm Right, You're Wrong.
Thank you so much for listening to That's So Mental. We'll see you next time.
Hey, if you like listening to That's So Mental, send us your thoughts or show ideas. Let us know what you'd like to hear about.
That was so mental. Rate, subscribe, and hit us up with your stories.
That's So Mental.